The standardized tests that Michigan students are just wrapping up will help the state decide which schools the state will take over in coming years. 24-hour News 8's Tony Tagliavia sat down today with the man tapped by Governor Rick Snyder to oversee those schools. Tony joins us live in studio.
Brian, right now the new Education Achievement System, or EAS, is in planning mode. It plans to take over some Detroit schools next year, and 2 years from now that is set to expand to other parts of the state.
What school systems or schools on this side of the state could potentially become part of EAS when the expansion occurs?
Right now, I'm not really sure.
To make that determination, the system's chancellor, John Covington, says he'll look at test scores for multiple years and perhaps discipline and attendance records too. The effort isn't all about taking control, he says, but about an opportunity to transform schools. And Covington shared with us some potentially major transformations that could happen at affected schools. What if, instead of grade levels, schools had skill levels? Students could graduate whenever they master the ideas, not just every 9 months. He also talked about learning from community service and schools run through charters or contracts with outside groups.
It's my firm conviction that the problem with American public schooling is that we continue to maintain a system of educational programs and services in terms of how we deliver them, a system that should have been abandoned a long time ago. We're still maintaining this monolithic pre-industrial agrarian kind of system that's not working for what I would call 21st century digital native children.
West Michigan has had relatively few schools on the state's list of persistently lowest achieving schools, meaning the region could have relatively few schools under the new system. But Covington cautions against looking at the schools under the system and thinking the rest are doing well.
Okay, my question would be, well, compared to what?
He says it doesn't make sense to compare those schools to the worst performing schools in the state, or schools in other states where standards might not be as high, or even schools in the states in the United States that have the best track record. He says right now you need to be comparing schools around the globe. He comes from Kansas City, where he will admit not everything has completely turned around. He says, though, during his tenure he made more progress than his predecessors.